The most effective method to earn and save money. It tends to be hard to gain and set aside cash, particularly on the off chance that you are not incredible at cash the executives and are battling to take care of your obligations. In any case, procuring a salary is the initial step to setting aside cash and taking care of any obligation that might be restricting your accounts. You will likewise need to change your way of life propensities to be all the more sparing cordial and increment the investment funds in your financial balance. Section 1. Earning an income. 1. Look for all-day work. The initial step to building your investment funds is to get full-time or low-maintenance work. You can scan for potential occupations online through posting sites or in the classified segment of your paper. The way to getting a vocation is to discover a place that you are equipped for and that plays to your qualities as a candidate. To expand your odds of business, you ought to make a solid resume and an introductory letter that is modified for the positions you are applying for. You should then convey applications to a few positions you consider will be a decent qualified for you, in view of your resume and your capabilities. 2. Consider finding low-maintenance line of work. In the event that you as of now have all-day work however are battling to set aside cash, you could find low-maintenance line of work to acquire some additional money. This could be a low-expertise work like waitressing, bartending, or filling in as an assistance worker in retail. You could likewise accept on-site open doors that identify with your all-day work. In the event that you are an educator, for instance, you may gain more cash as an afterthought by taking open subbing positions or showing an additional class at a junior college close by. On the off chance that you are anticipating gaining low-maintenance money by waitressing or bartending, you will probably need to get your ProServe permit before you can get recruited by a business at a bar or eatery. Most ProServe accreditations should be possible online for $25 to $30 through your state's ProServe program. 3. Offer to do unspecialized temp jobs in your neighborhood. In the event that you are battling to discover all-day business or are searching for additional pay as an afterthought, you may search for different approaches to gain some additional money. This could be by offering to scoop garages or cut yards for your neighbors or keeping an eye on a family companion close by. Search for impermanent work that you can do effectively and reliably, similar to a week-after-week pamphlet conveyance course or a paid gig as a caretaker for youngsters in the region. 4. Turn a leisure activity or energy into a wellspring of pay. Perhaps you have consistently wanted to stitch and have gotten truly adept at making caps and scarves for loved ones. You can utilize this leisure activity as an expected wellspring of pay by setting up an online shop where you sell your high-quality items or by selling your items at business sectors and fairs. This will permit you to accomplish something you appreciate and win some additional salary. Numerous entrepreneurs begin little, with restricted stock and an online possibly store, particularly on the off chance that they are the main ones making, advertising, and selling their carefully assembled items. You may run your shop as a side business while you keep up an all-day work until it gets reasonable enough to be your full-time wellspring of pay. Section 2. Creating a savings account. 1. Pay off any obligation before you begin to set aside cash. To set aside cash successfully, you should initially settle any current obligation you may have, for example, MasterCard charge or understudy advance obligation. Do this in regularly scheduled installments and consistently attempt to settle however much of your obligation as could be expected, as quick as could reasonably be expected, as this will keep you from being charged high financing costs. You can set up programmed installments through your bank where you pay down a similar sum on your exceptional obligations consistently. With steady installments, you ought to have the option to square away your obligation rapidly and proficiently. 2. Set up an investment account at your bank. When you have squared away the entirety of your obligations, you should open an investment account at your bank. Converse with a bank delegate at your bank about opening a premium-free investment account, where you are not charged an expense for storing cash into the bank account each month. A few investment accounts are additionally set up to compensate you for storing a specific sum into the record each month. Contingent upon your manager, you may likewise have the option to coordinate a segment of your check into your bank account each month. Converse with your manager about this chance. In the event that you truly need to guarantee you don't spend any of your investment funds, you can open up a bank account at another bank that isn't your fundamental bank. Along these lines, your financial records and your bank account are totally isolated and are not effectively opened from one record or one check card. Another alternative is to pay yourself first before you cover your tabs. This implies placing your check into your investment account and afterward making repeating week after week installments to your financial records to take care of for tabs and costs. This will assist with guaranteeing you don't disregard your bank account or utilize your reserve funds to pay for superfluous costs. 3. Commit to sparing a specific measure of cash each month. Set a base measure of cash you will store into your bank account each month and stick with it. This could be little, $200 to $300 to begin, particularly in the event that you have a high measure of costs. Attempt to expand the sum as your salary increments and your costs become progressively reasonable. In a perfect world, you ought to be sparing a decent measure of your pay so your investment account keeps on developing and flourish. Your manager may likewise have a retirement plan that you can take on, known as a 401k. This arrangement permits your boss to coordinate the measure of cash you store in your 401k finance, and the most extreme yearly commitments for these assets get bigger the more you work at the organization. This can assist you with putting something aside for retirement and be brilliant about your reserve funds. 4. Use your reserve funds as interest in a future buy or experience. It very well may be hard to set aside cash each month, particularly when you're enticed to purchase new apparel or go out each night. Concentrate on sparing with reason, where every dollar you spare will go about as an interest in future buys or encounters. Consider an expensive thing you are putting something aside for, similar to another home or a proceeding with instruction course, or a groundbreaking encounter, similar to a multi-month hiking trip or a semester concentrating abroad. Having a reason for your reserve funds will propel you to keep on adding to your bank account and prize yourself for being aware of your spending. Section 3. Adjusting your lifestyle habits. 1. Create a spending plan and focus on it. In the event that you don't as of now have a spending plan, you ought to make one and focus on it. This implies deciding your fundamental costs and guaranteeing your pay covers your costs. This can likewise assist you with setting aside cash, as you will have the option to stick your reserve funds plan and not overspend on pointless things. Your financial plan should cover lease and utilities, transportation, food, various costs, similar to vehicle installments, school supplies, medicinal services installments, and so forth. On the off chance that you have any obligation installments, add these to your spending plan as fundamental costs and pay them off at the earliest opportunity. 2. Avoid eating out. Eating every one of your suppers out is an insured cash squanderer, so eliminated your eating out propensities and spotlight on cooking in any event 1 to 2 dinners per day. On the off chance that you will in general purchase an espresso each morning on your approach to work, cut down on your costs by purchasing espresso beans and making your own espresso at home. On the off chance that you have out for lunch each day, attempt to prepare a lunch rather to spare $10 to $15 every day. Indeed, even a modest quantity spared each day can signify more cash in your bank account. 3. Make a staple rundown before you go shopping for food. Plan out your dinners for the week and make a basic food item list so you remain on target when you go shopping for food. You ought to have enough for in any event a few dinners per day. It tends to be useful to assign one day as your shopping for food day, for example, Saturday or Sunday, when you realize the rancher's market will be open or when you have sufficient opportunity to do a decent basic food item shop. 4. Buy low-value things and use coupons. Be keeping watch for bargains on food through coupons to your nearby supermarket or huge box store. You ought to likewise select low-value renditions of food or limited food when you go shopping for food. 5. Put your extra change in a change container. Try not to keep your extra change with you or somewhere down in your jacket pockets. Start an extra change container and add all your change to it. After some time, it can indicate a considerable measure of cash you can add to your bank account. 6. Think about costly things for in any event 24 hours before you get them. To forestall purchasing things without much forethought, you should hold up at any rate 24 hours before purchasing a costly thing or item. Set aside some effort to consider on the off chance that you might want the thing and if the thing is an advantageous speculation. This will keep you from lamenting your buy later or paying a lot for a thing that you could pay less for with a little examination and thought before buying. 7. Use charge or money instead of credit to pay for things. Evade obligation by utilizing charge or money to pay for things, particularly essential costs. Utilizing charge will permit you to monitor your buys, and utilizing money will give you a feeling of the amount you are going through consistently. You might need to take out your food cash for the month, for instance, and utilize this money admirably on staple goods. Along these lines, you won't have the option to overspend before the month is out, and you can remain on spending plan.